week for Adelaide on their first trip to the finals.
Now they're back, stronger, hungrier.
Matilda McNamara rises highest and puts Adelaide United in front.
Which team will take control?
Adelaide are right back in it. Melbourne Victory have gone back ahead.
Wirtz, Chidiac, Dorber, Gilnick, Healy, Morrison. Big names, big pressure.
In the most dramatic of circumstances.
Melbourne Victory versus Adelaide United. Semi-final, first leg. This is finals football.
And where would you rather be on a Sunday than Cooper's Stadium? Adelaide United and Melbourne Victory in the first leg of the semi-finals. There is a tomorrow for the loser, but both teams want to put their best foot forward. Former Matilda Teresa Polias joins me, Teo Pellizzeri, for this one. Teresa, it's very exciting. Adelaide got the job done against Western United last weekend. Now they're back at home trying to take the ascendancy over two legs here.
That's right, Teo, and Melbourne Victory over the course of the season have got the better of Adelaide, so Adelaide will want to get the upper hand in this home semi-final leg.
So as the fans make their way in, hoping to see the home team salute in consecutive weeks, in consecutive finals, well, there is recent history that you've alluded to there. And these teams, they play thrillers. Last time they met, it was a stoppage time winner for Nikki Flannery, and that's after Adelaide had equalised in the 86th minute.
That's right, Teo. I think we'll be in for a real treat. I think both teams will really go for it today as well in terms of attack.
And when they met in round one, it was 3-2, and again, Victory in the very last minute prevailing. So these two love to give us a cliffhanger. Let's get a little bit of insight from the Adelaide coach first and hear from Adrian Stenter. Adrian, thanks for joining us. Just the one change. Erin Healy comes in. How are you approaching the first leg of this tie?
We really want to come out and attack and try and get something out of the game and have a few positive things to bring with us to Melbourne. So that's going to be our frame of mind, and we're looking forward to it.
You've only been beaten by last-minute goals in the two meetings against Melbourne Victory. Do you consider the first one ancient history, or was there still a reason to go back and have just a long-term look at it from November and also the more recent meeting at Amy Park?
No, I think it's still relevant because the good thing about us is we haven't really changed the way we've played for any game this year. So we had a look at both games, including the more recent one, and we think there's some learnings to take from both of them that'll be useful for us today.
And there has been a bit of chat around Victory knocking you out of the finals in 2022. Has that entered your team talk, or have you left that one in the past?
No, we haven't spoken about that at all. And if we were looking back to history, then we'd have no chance today, right? So we can't do anything about what's already been, and we're looking forward to seeing what we can do about what's in front of us today.
Enjoy the game. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks a lot.
Adrian Stenter there pre-game. Let's take a look at the Adelaide United team. One change from the side that defeated Western United 1-0. Erin Healy moves to the starters. Sian Dewey moves to the bench. Otherwise, it's the same matchday squad for Adrian Stenter with no other ins or outs. And Teresa, this was last weekend's 1-0 win against Western United. Matilda McNamara with a header at a corner in the first half. And then Adelaide were able to hold that clean sheet to the finish line.
Yeah, hard-fought win for Adelaide United, and great delivery here from Emily Condon, and fantastic header home from Matilda McNamara. What a great leap over everyone there.
So that was the decisive moment and the match-winning goal. First time Adelaide's ever won a final. Now they are trying to double up and do it again. Melbourne Victory played 2 weeks ago in the final home and away round, a 2-0 win against the Brisbane Roar, and 2 changes to the team since then. M. Gilnick is back from a layoff, precautionary with an Achilles injury, while Ellie Wilson is included in the starting 11. It moves Holly Furphy and Laura Pickett to the bench, and with the extended bench in finals, Gio Candy, the backup goalkeeper, returns, with Paige Zoyce and Sienna Teixeira dropping out of the matchday squad. So let's get some insights from the Melbourne Victory coach, Jeff Hopkins. Jeff, thanks for joining us. You've had a couple of weeks to think about your starting 11 for this game. What will your approach to the match be?
Look, I think we're probably going about it the way that we've gone about things all season. It's been reasonably straightforward for us, but obviously for us, we know it's going to be played at a different level and a different intensity, and that's really what we've been preparing for.
Can we read much into going for a more senior starting 11 and a younger bench, or is it just your best 11 as you see it?
No, I think it's. I think that's our strongest 11 at the moment. Yeah, it's been very difficult for me over the last few weeks with everybody fit. I think I've got 22, 23 players that are available to train and available to play. So you know, with we haven't brought Leah Privatelli with us. We haven't brought Paige Zoyce with us this week. You know, we haven't brought Sophia Sakalis. So you know, the competition for places is really intense, and I think that's tough for me in making decisions, but great for the group because it really keeps everyone on their toes.
Well, we're looking forward to it, Jeff. Enjoy the game, and thanks for joining us.
Great, thanks a lot.
Great to hear from Jeff Hopkins there, the Melbourne Victory coach. And as you heard, tough decisions at the selection table. Nearly had Leah Privatelli back for the first match of the season, but not to be. There's the Adelaide home end starting to fill in. They'll be hoping to make some noise and lift this home crowd. And Teresa, the team's not too far away from appearing in the tunnel. It's a little bit different, the dynamic of a two-legged semi-final compared to an elimination game last week. And we saw a bit of that yesterday with the Mariners and Melbourne City, knowing that if you can keep it close, there is always tomorrow.
Yeah, I think there is a different dynamic. There's a lot to consider having, you know, a semi over two legs in, especially that first game. And I guess it's a question whether you go all out in that first game and set yourself up or keep it a bit conservative, knowing you've got another leg in the next week.
Great moment for the mascots getting to walk out onto this final stage with Ninja A-League players. And a good atmosphere at Cooper Stadium being created. Adelaide United hoping to break a 7-game head-to-head winless run against Melbourne Victory that stretches all the way back to February of 2022. So they haven't defeated Melbourne Victory since the end of the home and away season, that campaign where Victory, of course, knocked them out only a couple of weeks later in the elimination final. Erin Healy is starting today back from a quad injury that curtailed the end of the home and away season for her and saw her come off the bench last weekend, but the American with 7 goals in 20 appearances will be hoping to keep up her good season-long run of form. Adrian Stenter would be acutely aware that Adelaide's one and only win away to Melbourne Victory was in November 2015. They would love to have their noses in front at the end of the first leg today. Today's referee is Caitlin Williams. Assistants are Alexis Johnson and Paula Malau-Aduli. And the fourth official is Isabella Cooper. There is no VAR in the Ninja A-League. Melbourne Victory huddling up here. They have the best defence in the league through the home and away season. And after Melbourne City conceded 2 goals yesterday, they've got the best defence in the league by 3 now. And Gielnik's taking the team talk, and why wouldn't she? She enjoys a head-to-head record of 15 goals in 17 games over the course of her seasons against Adelaide United, including 3 hat-tricks. 2 scored with the Brisbane Roar, and 1 of them coming in March 2024 right here at Cooper Stadium. Jeff Hopkins is one of the super veterans of the Ninja A-League. This will be his 11th finals campaign, his 19th final, and he's hoping to get through to a 7th grand final at the end of it. Sarah Morgan, one of the quiet achievers of the Adelaide midfield. She'll be out trying to curtail Alex Chidiac, a South Australian, now wearing Melbourne Victory colours in this one. Emily Condon, what a chat about her during the week and her increased game time this season and ability to create and provide for the Adelaide forward line, including 6 goals of her own this season. Adelaide going in for one last huddle. Teresa, what do you think they're saying, given that Melbourne Victory has very much been historically their bogey team? Adelaide 5 wins, Melbourne Victory 21 over the journey. Yeah, amazing statistics there, Tay. I think they're fired up, they're hungry, and they're just, the leaders there just wanting everyone to be ready to really take it to Melbourne Victory. Nikki Flannery scored both the goals when they met at Amy Park back in March. And that will be one spot fire that Adelaide will be hoping to extinguish with their defence. Erin Healy will be hoping she's back to her best today. Maybe wasn't last week. Dylan Holmes was Adelaide's goal scorer at Amy Park from the penalty spot in March. No prospect of penalties today. It's on the table next weekend after the second legs of the semi-finals if we can't find a winner. But today, it's all about 90 minutes to set the stage for those second legs. And Adelaide are hoping that home ground advantage can make all the difference here as they kick off against Melbourne Victory. So underway in the first leg of this Ninja A-League semi-final, Adelaide United hosting Melbourne Victory at Coopers Stadium. And Teresa Polias, the build-up is over and we get to see who puts their best foot forward.
Yeah, what a treat we're in for. Second versus third. Both teams in great form. I'm hoping we'll see plenty of goals today.
They've provided for us an early offside here. A 3-2 and a 2-1, and both winners coming in stoppage time or the last minute of play. So we expect that they'll be attacking. Obviously, neither team has been able to keep a clean sheet against each other this season. And that is with Victory having the best defence in the league, and Adelaide, well, it's a battle of two great keepers. Claudia Jenkins, 8 clean sheets against Courtney Newbon, 11 this season, and yet we come here today expecting goals.
Yeah, and these are the games that you want to see your goalkeeper stepping up. And so far in this final series, I feel like that the goalkeepers have really stood out.
Dylan Holmes in a tussle here against Victory's American midfielder, Sarah D'Apollonia. Leaves it for their English right-back, Ellie Wilson. Restored to the starting 11 today. And Alex Chidiak, the player who draws the most fouls in the Ninja A-League, is fouled in just the second minute of the game. And we'll see if that is a trend through the day.
No doubt a bit of a statement there. We know how creative a player Alex Chidiak is, and Adelaide will want her to know that they're there.
Emily Hodgson, a former teammate of Chidiak from her time at Adelaide United. She debuted as a 15-year-old in the red of Adelaide for stints at Melbourne City overseas and then back to Victory since. A wide free kick for Alana Janchevsky to take. Janchevsky over the head of Morrison, and the aerial threat of Melbourne Victory on show early. Morrison actually told Dubzone during the week that the height and skill of Victory players in the air is something that they do rely on for an avenue to goal.
They certainly do. They've scored plenty of corners and set pieces, and that was a nicely placed free kick there from Janchevsky.
Adelaide on notice. Victory doing all the attacking through the first 2 minutes. Alana Murphy lays it back to Claudia Bunge, and a first touch here for Courtney Newbon. She's played every minute of every game this season, with Lydia Williams out with a long-term injury. Alana Murphy has to retrieve Wilson's back pass. Gilnick. Straight to Sarah Morgan of Adelaide. Holmes put under pressure by the pass. Matilda McNamara. And Adelaide looking just a little more nervous of the two.
Certainly some signs of early nerves from Adelaide United. It's taking a little longer to settle into this game.
Backheel flick from Gilnick, intercepted by Ella Tonkin. Now Murphy. Janchevsky. McNamara read the ball best in the air. Rachel Lowe was trying to escape out the back. Deflected out for an Adelaide throw over on the right side of their defence. Lucia Leon, the Dominican Republic international, to take the throw. Janchevsky hooked it forward. McNamara, and now the assistant referee is flagging. And I believe there's going to be a Victory throw. Confusion reigns. Caitlin Williams is today's referee. Just trying to sort out who's got the ball. It is a retake of the throw. Fiona Wirtz is going to chase all the way up to Courtney Newbon here, who clears in the nick of time. Tonkin leads Gilnick to the ball. Jenkins. Condon. Able to turn and face. Now Morgan. Blocked by Wilson. Here's Janchevsky. See Victory's away record this season. Not bad when you've got Melbourne City going through the entire competition undefeated, that Victory, who only finished 2 points behind the Premiers, certainly have almost gone win for win, stat for stat with City throughout the course of what's been an unprecedented campaign from them.
Yeah, I think they've had an incredible season as well, and largely gone a bit under the radar, as you mentioned, due to the fact Melbourne City had that undefeated season, but that's a fantastic away record.
Victory coming in on a 13-game undefeated run, which is their club record. It has very much been overshadowed by Melbourne City being 24 unbeaten themselves. Emily Hodgson's throw in off the head of Bunge. Eventually finds its way out, so Adelaide putting a foot on the ball, starting to look a bit more comfortable after 5 minutes of play. Healy, heavy contact, is trying to bounce back to her feet. Of course, it was a quad injury she's been carrying, so that's been an early test right there. Janchevski, early ball. And kept away from Nikki Flannery by Tiana Karambassis, who has stepped into this Adelaide defence after a hamstring injury to Zoe Tolland in the final round of the home and away season. Here's Chidiac. Low cross, cleared by McNamara. Well out of the penalty area, trying for a long ball, and that's going to go all the way out for a goal kick.
Having played with Courtney Newbon, Taya, she's got an extremely long-range kick, and it's a little weapon they have in their artillery there, so one to watch out for.
Jenkins restarts play here and sets Lucille on a task. Couldn't quite keep it in. Janchevski, who ever since the retirement of Beattie Goad at the end of the calendar year has gone and played at left back. Would probably prefer to be playing as a number 10 today, as a central attacking midfielder, but Teresa, it speaks to Jeff Hopkins' ability as a coach and Janchevski's ability as a player that they seem to have been a perfect match playing as a left back this season.
Yeah, I think it's worked out really well for Alana Janchevski. I think she's slotted in well into that left back position. She's getting plenty of crosses in for Melbourne Victory. There's the challenge on Ellie Wilson there. But yeah, she's had a great season, still scored goals from that position.
Jenkins sends that one into the benches. D'Apollonia able to lose the attention of Morgan. Now to Gilnick wide. Gilnick drifts in across. Karambassis heads it away, but Flannery leaves the ball for the advancing Janchevski. Now Flannery. Can't quite link up with Chidiac. Murphy. Janchevski from deep this time. And that will be keeper's ball on one bounce. Claudia Jenkins, who declared eligibility to play for New Zealand at the last international break, is going to be bravely feigning against Lowe there to clear. Risk and reward, and Adelaide have the ball at the feet of Emily Condon, their creator. Holmes, Fiona Wirtz, and now Healy. Adelaide, first meaningful attack. Emily Hodgson getting forward. Underlapping run from Healy, a good one, and a first corner of the game.
Well, that's better from Adelaide United. It started with some risky play there at the back, but sometimes in these games you've got to do the extraordinary to get up the field and make things happen.
Adelaide scoring the one and only goal of the game last week against Western United from a corner. The number 4, Matilda McNamara, appears to have the attention of Sarah D'Apollonia at this set piece. Emily Condon, can she put it on a teammate's head? First corner of the game. And emphatically cleared by Kayla Morrison. Hodgson Morgan, second time ball. Morrison again, and this time volleyed away. Victory defence showing why they've conceded the fewest goals in the league this season.
Yeah, very, very well defended. They would have seen the goal last week, and no doubt that would have been part of the talks in preparation for today's match.
Saw Emily Hodgson there with a very heavily bandaged right leg, whether that's a hamstring or a quad. I guess watch this space, because she gets through a power of running for them, Teresa, and often sprinting, so they'll be hoping that's only minor.
She's certainly a workhorse for Adelaide United. She's played plenty of minutes in the season too, so of course they'd want her to stay out there as long as possible.
Healy looking for Hodgson right on cue, and here she goes. Emily Hodgson feeds the ball through for Fiona Wirtz. Last-ditch challenge comes in from Morrison and saves the day for victory. Fiona Wirtz on the end of a great run and pass from Hodgson.
That's a beautiful ball in behind. Started with Erin Healy. Great, perfectly weighted in behind, and what a challenge there from Morrison. And there's no helping your opponent up in a game like this today.
First foot on the ball, Morrison completely clean in the tackle, and that's why she is so important to this victory team. Their captain, their leader. That's because she can do things like that. Adelaide got to be careful here. Shaky back pass, and Jenkins just sends it into the crowd. But Adelaide have shown what they're capable of on this Cooper Stadium surface. Victory looking for a response. Chidiac immediately goes down by Healy. Morgan. Holmes missed the pass. Adelaide have the ball back. Happy to stand off and watch Adelaide play the ball around their goalkeeper and centre backs. McNamara. Healy, Karen Bassis. Rachel Lowe takes over for victory. Flannery caught in possession. And offside, so Flannery trapped over on the opposite side of the pitch. Fiona Wirtz, leading goal scorer this season for Adelaide United. 7 goals in 8 appearances against Melbourne Victory too. So she loves, in contrast to Adelaide's head-to-head win-loss record, she loves playing against them.
She doesn't. She'd love nothing more than to get on that score sheet today.
Newbon. Murphy and Morrison. Newbon goes for distance. Over the head of Tonkin. So Adelaide backtracking as Rachel Lowe roams onto the ball. Lowe. Pass to the advantage of Dapolonia. Rachel Lowe was in double-figure goals last season, just the 2 this campaign. A 9-game streak since she last scored back on the 1st of February. But she is lurking with intent. Every time Adelaide plays short, Rachel Lowe is generally the first to press. Trying to catch out a shallow back pass or a loose touch. It's just raised the tension every time Adelaide play out from the back. Gilnick goes to work against Tonkin. Can't fashion a cross, but does win a corner. So now Adelaide will set up their defence in the air. Em Gilnick, the obvious target to aim for at a corner kick. Kayla Morrison, a phenomenal aerial presence and goal scorer for a centre-back. 13 career goals in the Ninja A-League. Here comes Chidiac's corner. And Claudia Bunge was the target, but couldn't quite get over the header.
She's gone for the far post there, and Bunge just wasn't able to get to that one, but it's going to be an interesting battle of set pieces today, Teo.
Bunge, 6 career goals, 2 this season. And for all intents and purposes, unmarked there, but was backtracking, trying to get over the ball, couldn't do so. Tonkin, Healy, able to turn at speed. Sends the ball out to Lucia Leon. Listen to the Cougars crowd rise when Adelaide go forward. Works! Tried to glance it on. Bunge with a block.
It was well worked again from Adelaide, and when they're able to get the ball to Erin Healy's feet, things happen out there.
Condon nearly set Emily Hodgson away now. Well, they've given us 2 really flowing attacking moves in 15 minutes, so for some of the shakiness playing out from the back, for the pressure victory of applied, Adelaide do look good when they go forward.
Yeah, and they had a shaky start, but it's moments like that that give you the confidence and really turn things around, and they look comfortable now.
Tonkin's back pass, Jenkins. Taking a brief moment to shield the eyes from the sun. You can see shadows creeping across the ground. Tonkin has to hurry just a little bit more. Now Jenkins, Victory sensing the chance to press, and so Jenkins goes a little longer. Hodgson, great pass, and now Condon's away. Wirtz making a run. Healy's in the middle. Condon, decision time. Murphy caught it from the blind side, picked her pocket. Was able to just reach in and nick the ball off her toes.
Yeah, great defending there. Great backtracking from Murphy, and just maybe one too many touches from Condon there, but more positive signs for Adelaide.
Of course, this season, the one where Murphy won her first Matilda's cap. Being called up to the senior national team for the She Believes Cup. Adelaide go again. Wirtz, Healy tried to shoot. It falls to Hodgson round the corner. Just picked up by Courtney Newbon. Hodgson, 1 goal this season. It broke a 7-year drought of scoring in the Ninja A-League, so not a surprise given she's playing a much more attacking role. Adelaide are going to get another chance here because Janchevski's given away possession to Leon. Wirtz trying to turn Bunge, can't do so. And the Kiwi international centre-back prevails.
Fiona Wirtz, so dangerous, receiving the ball with her back to goal. Her ability to hold up the ball and bring others into plays is phenomenal. Here she goes. Really did well to hold off Bunge there, and Healy tried to unleash. It lands to Hodgson's feet, and she just couldn't get enough on that.
Even though she is playing left back, she's not a natural left footer, Emily Hodgson. She's been playing out on that side of the pitch for 3 seasons now, but is nominally a right-footed player.
She's getting into the box a lot more this season, so that's why those opportunities are arising for her. So she'd love nothing more than to score another goal this season.
Healy's volley on. Morrison. Wirtz trying to make a physical presence. Janchevski. Early ball looping into the path of Lowe. Lowe can't quite steer it back to Janchevski. Leon takes the throw in. Victory win the ball back. Murphy with the step around. Leon, Bunge, there's Morrison right there for company. The centre-back pairing has worked it out amongst each other.
Very calm at the back today. They have been all season. Even under pressure at times when Adelaide decide to press.
Murphy able to turn and almost fed a perfect ball out to Gilnick on the right. Dapolonia, Gilnick. Wilson was trying to advance the play. Gilnick takes the throw in quickly. Dapolonia against Morgan. Still Dapolonia. Puts it on the roof of the net. Only has the one career goal in the Ninja A-League. Sarah Dapolonia nearly doubled up with a cross shot there.
He was the attempted cross or shot. We're not too sure. It wasn't too far off, though.
Dapolonia, who was playing for the Peninsula Power in NPL Queensland before catching the eye of Jeff Hopkins in the Melbourne Victory. It's been something of a mainstay ever since making her Ninja A-League debut. 45th game in just her second season. Jeff Hopkins, his assistants there, Gareth Turnbull, Jono Clemente, and a familiar face, former goalkeeper Melissa Maisels. Played for Victory, Perth Glory, Canberra United, amongst others. Here's Chidiac. Janchevsky trying to measure across. Lowe brings it down. Flannery with the shot, and it ricochets out for a corner.
That's up from Melbourne Victory. Nice link up there between Lowe and Flannery, and pretty good outcome. Great touch here from Lowe to set Flannery up with the shot and earn the corner.
Second corner of the game for Victory. First one did meet the head of Claudia Bunge. Adelaide fans making plenty of noise. Murphy into the near post, bobbled, headed off the line once, and then the follow-up is blocked away. McNamara got herself in the path of Chidiac's follow-up. Erin Healy was crucial though, heading that off the goal line. It wasn't going in, but it did sit up teasingly.
It did, and Jenkins gets the first touch here, but there was plenty more to do there. Desperate defending there on the goal line.
And that follow-up from Tonkin there was also absolutely vital. Tilda McNamara got the final block, but straight back to defending here. Wilson. Half-hearted shouts for handball. Caitlin Williams not interested. It was shanked by Tonkin into her own teammate Hodgson. And now Hodgson with her feet sends that one 20 rows back.
In a match like this, Teo, a lot at stake. You'll appeal for anything.
Long throw, flick header on. Lowe brings it down. Holmes finds Morgan. And now Healy trying to do the miraculous there and knock it over her own shoulder to advantage. Victory able to regain the ball.
Don't let it come back in, Hodgie. Yes, Hodgie!
Shout of Adrian Stanter there to his player, Emily Hodgson. She's chasing Wilson now. That pass from Dapolonia, and he succeeds in finding Condon. Healy really is their get-out-of-jail pass at the moment. The Adelaide midfield is struggling to put a foot on the ball, but when Healy's there, they don't find her this time, but she's the hope at the moment.
She is. She's such an unpredictable player, and a few passes recently just been a little bit off.
That's going to run long. So how do they get in a position, Adelaide, where Holmes, that's going to stay in actually, so it'll be retrieved by Karen Bassis after hitting the corner flag. And Gilnick playing on the wing at the moment rather than centre forward. Rachel Lowe's in the middle for now. But yes, how did Adelaide put a foot on the ball a bit more comfortably at the moment? It seems as though Victory are hurrying every pass and every touch whenever they try to work through midfield.
Yeah, I think they need to slow things down when they regain possession, and they're a little bit frantic going forward. You can see with a few miscued passes of late, so really need to settle it back down and get it under control.
Tonkin with with the restart. Again, Healy is the get-out-of-jail pass and the target. Why not? With skill like that, loses the victory midfield and now can advance. Healy, runners breaking either side. Condon keeps it moving. Hodgson puts it into the middle. Wirtz couldn't quite make contact. Janchevsky vital and clears it away for victory.
Healy once again, Teo. I mean, she slalomed through a couple players there from almost the halfway line and once again made things happen. If they can just find feet in that box. Wirtz wasn't too far off, but fantastic play again.
Really entertaining stuff when Adelaide can break like that. Victory, we've got a bit of space to work with here. Adelaide midfield backtracking in earnest. Defence caught a little cold. If Gilnick can keep the attack going, she can't. One-on-one, Matilda McNamara stands tall and needed to there because Adelaide were a little bit short. But let's see this attacking build-up again.
Condon sets up Hodgson there and it's a decent cross in and wonderful defending from Janchevsky to get across there and nip in front of Wirtz.
Victory's turn to attack now. Feels like the first goal could be so important in this tie. Adelaide want this home crowd on their side for the full 90, cheering them on. Victory want to keep them quiet. Gilnick leaves the ball behind. Hodgson. The whistle does go in the end. It will be Adelaide's ball. Hodgson, 24 years old, but already playing game 137. She has been a mainstay for Adelaide ever since 2017. Bunge through to win the header. Lowe alone in the attack for now. Gilnick. Flannery waiting at the far post. That may have been the intended target, but it's blocked by McNamara, who has really set herself for the task of playing against Emily Gilnick. And now the pass into midfield is an incisive one. Condon. Lucia Leon. Biding her time, waiting for the right pass. Now Healy, edge of the box. Healy tries to weave past Morrison. Resisted the temptation to shoot from the edge of the area. Taking on Kayla Morrison's another prospect.
Looked like she was going to let rip there, Teo, but decided to take a few more touches. Perhaps she should have gone with a shot.
Flannery getting forward. Trying to prod it through for Lowe. That's heading out for a corner, though. And so Flannery has done well to win a corner kick for victory. We saw the last corner created a bit of havoc. You see Flannery's got some strapping there just above the knee on her left leg. This time of the season, you don't want to miss the big ones. You don't want to miss finals. Especially a player like Flannery, who, if she has a big final series, could find herself in the squad for the Matildas for the Argentina series that's coming up post-season. So a corner kick for victory. And headed away by McNamara. Morrison was making a run, but she ran under the ball and McNamara was in the right spot. Bunge having stayed forward for the corner. A low cross, which Holmes deals with and finds McNamara. Kind of left back. And now Matilda McNamara is breaking. Just shovels the ball forward. Oh, an indiscriminate grab over the shoulder of Fiona Wirtz. And it's going to be the first yellow card of the game. Alana Janchevsky is in the book.
Well, this is big, Teo. Got a defender now on a yellow card. Adelaide got forward once again. What a great tussle there, really. Wirtz shouldn't have even got near that ball again, but she's earned the foul and a yellow card for a victory defender.
So as you can see, it's a long-range free kick, but the booking is crucial. Janchevsky will have to watch her step. Playing in that left-back position as the game ticks up to the half-hour mark. Dylan Holmes on set-piece delivery. And that's going to be very comfortably keeper's ball. So the opportunity goes begging. What have you made of the first half an hour so far?
Very exciting stuff. I think it's been a real tussle out there, Teo. Both teams showing a bit of control in patches.
Flannery here, breaking down the right side now. Cross into the middle, low, lunging. And now the follow-up, Dapolonia. Well, one of the better chances for victory so far. Rachel Lowe in the middle, and then Dapolonia on the follow-up.
Two big chances there for victory. Dapolonia certainly won't be very happy with this follow-up. I think she just rushed that shot. She had a lot more time than she thought.
Adelaide have persisted with a goal kick strategy that Zella Tonkin playing it to Mgielnik. Adelaide United men's team watching on. Of course, they've got a final series of their own to look forward to after getting favourable results over the course of the Isuzu Youth A-League men's weekend. Murphy can't get over the top of McNamara. Feels for handball, but play continues. Now the whistle goes for a foul instead. Wilson knocking over Hodgson. Ellie Wilson was playing for Wolves, funnily enough, last season. They've been in the news quite prominently the last couple of weeks after their bid for promotion in the English League system was foiled due to the club not pre-applying for it. We'll leave that discussion aside, but a couple of Wolves players in both Wilson and also Olivia Ferguson of Wellington Phoenix choosing to come and play in Australia this season. The English right back is watching on now as Victory regained possession and thinking about a switch of flanks. Newbon. Head of Tonkin. To ground by Morgan, followed up Hodgson. Sarah Morgan, space to turn. Pass will find its way to Lucia Leon. Trying to thread the eye of the needle. Condon takes the ball off Morrison, but can't advance any further. Now it's Leon against Dapolonia. Morrison. Looks like Victory have done a winger swap. Gielnik's gone to the left and Flannery to the right, Teresa. So we'll see if this lasts until the end of the half or it's only temporary.
Interesting tactical change there, Teo.
Now the Victory bench think there should be a yellow card here for Matilda McNamara, but Caitlin Williams isn't going to reach for the pocket, much to the disappointment of the Victory bench and Rachel Lowe.
I think McNamara is lucky to get away without a card in this instance.
Who was playing overseas before coming back to Australia this season, back to her hometown. A one-cap Matilda. Has been on the national team radar for some time. Janchevski's free kick. Over the head of McNamara. Bunge with a volley. Well, it's exploded off the boot. Bunge is claiming there was a deflection, but that set up very teasingly.
Yeah, the ball just held up there. We expected it to sort of skid on, but it held up really nicely, as we can see for Bunge here, and just try to blast it home, but got far too under the ball there.
Tonkin again taking the goal kicks, this time straight out of the penalty area. McNamara and Holmes link up well. Leon next pass a bit more trouble. Victory close all the avenues. Condon has done well to win a throw in for Adelaide, given how little they had on for them. Here's a look at the broadcast side of Coopers and back out to the pitch. As both we and the fans are seeing it, the majority at least, in the main stand. Karambassis. Holmes. Tana Karambassis loads up the cross. Healy lunging. Bunge wins it away. Lucia Leon. Caroline Fox-Gielnik. And no one home at the far post. Wirtz will be first to the ball. Wirtz takes on Apollonia. Can't get past her though. It's good physical defending from the American. And the byplay down in the corner continues. Well, Wirtz very unhappy, but we had a nice close look at that, Teresa. I think that Ellie Wilson managed that, or Sarah Apollonia managed that pretty well.
She did. She did, and sure that the whole ball did go out there. Perhaps it did, but Wirtz certainly not happy.
Well, I think whether it's a free kick for a handball rather than a throw-in, so...
Yeah, there you go. Good call. Wonderful work initially from Lucia Leon. She got away from a marker, but no one was at that back post for Adelaide.
10 minutes of regulation to go in the first half. No goals, but it has been very, very tense. Feels like a goal could be coming at any time. Wilson's throw. Rachel Lowe. Tonkin. Erin Healy looking so much more dynamic compared to last week. Just an extra week's recovery from that quad injury. Here's Flannery's cross. Through the 6-yard box it goes. Gielnik. Now in a left wing position. Drops the shoulder against Karambassis, but good defending one-on-one there from Tiana Karambassis. Out for another corner.
She's held her own in last week's elimination final and is doing really well out there against the likes of M. Gielnik, who we thought got away there, but Karambassis was able to recover.
Very, very light wind favouring the Victory end as Murphy takes an in-swinging corner. Tonkin a good, solid header. Morgan rolling on into open field. Chidiac will take the ball then. Newbon using that long ball. What a pass it is. It's going to set up perfectly for Gielnik! Unlocked, and M. Gielnik rockets the finish in. And the super boot of goalkeeper Courtney Newbon with the assist. Victory 1, lead Adelaide 0.
Well, it's not often you see an assist from your goalkeeper, but we mentioned earlier the long ball ability of Courtney Newbon, and she put it on a platter here for M. Gielnik, but she had plenty of work to do there. Tight angle and a fantastic finish from a player who's had a fantastic season.
On the left foot, it's a great angle for starters, but that's a great finish from M. Gielnik.
An absolutely stunning finish there from M. Gielnik.
Well, a hat-trick at Cooper Stadium last season. Adelaide, her favourite opponent to play against. It's her 16th career goal against them in just 18 games. Doesn't matter whether she's wearing the orange of Brisbane or the navy of Melbourne Victory. M. Gielnik scores goals against Adelaide United.
She does, Teo. She's a big game player, and this shows why.
And Adelaide will feel like they've been sucker punched there. A long ball from the goalkeeper, and that's all it took. And now they trail and are in need of a response. Plenty of time before the end of the first half. Wirtz, Hodgson. Can they get an instant reply? Hodgson over the head of Condon. Leon, Condon saved it point blank and put it by Healy. Adelaide are level in the blink of an eye. And it's their star American, Erin Healy, with the decisive touch, bringing Cooper's Stadium to life.
What a response here, Teo. This is the kind of game that we were expecting, and the teams are delivering so far. What a great cross in, and who else but Erin Healy? She's been on fire today, and she's the one who stepped up and put that away.
Tell you what, Courtney Newbond's stiff. She saved it point blank from Condon, but there wasn't much she could do about the follow-up.
A very fortunate bounce there for Healy after a great save from Newbond.
Healy, who did not play in the game at Amy Park. It was one of the matches that she missed with her late season injury, but she has looked back to her absolute best today. The American who's attracted the interest of the Republic of Ireland national team due to the amazing season that she's had here in Australia after Adelaide brought her to the country from Portugal on the say-so of Sydney FC defender Jordan Thompson, no less, who of course played a vital role in Sydney FC winning last year's grand final. Is it going to be Healy doing the same for Adelaide? They're level in this game. Victory's lead cancelled out in 2 minutes. Gildick trying to restore it. And the game has sprung to life. It was already lively. It's gone to another level.
It was already, very entertaining, and this is just next level now. Both teams have really turned it on.
Adelaide, they do love between the 30 and 45th minute. It's their 10th of the season in that time period. There's still 4 minutes plus stoppage to go. Another's concentration is waning. That's when Adelaide step up and Wilson clatters Healy. The play continues. Hodgson to Wirtz. Cut back, intercepted by Bunge. Now Wilson and Holmes this time collide, legally according to the referee. Rachel Lowe against Tiana Karambassis. Karambassis hits the line, puts it out for a throw.
There's that 50-50 in the ref's eyes, and I think she got it spot on there, Teo.
Ellie Wilson is heading all the way down the pitch now to take this throw in. Deep in attack for Melbourne Victory. Bouncing onto the chest of Lowe. Dabalonia foiled by Condon. Booted into the head of Healy. And what's the referee saying here? Saying, not the head, the hand, a handball. Adelaide protest in earnest. Caitlin Williams, the referee, says free kick. And I'll tell you what, if Alana Murphy was watching Letitia McKenna's free kick for Melbourne City yesterday, Alana Janchevsky's gone over as well. Victory have a couple of super boots. This is not beyond shooting range for them.
They do. I'll probably toss the coin here, Teo. Two very good free kick specialists and similar range to what we saw Letitia McKenna score from last night.
And Adelaide have put 4 in the wall, so showing plenty of respect to the right and left-footed threats here that Melbourne Victory have. It will be Janchevsky. She lets rip, and Jenkins saves it. Claudia Jenkins has had an outstanding season, and she stepped up there.
She certainly did, Teo. That's a wonderful free kick from Janchevsky from range, and fantastic save.
And it's rolled over the top of the crossbar with a touch along the way.
Another brilliant save for the highlight reel.
And now the resulting corner. The defending far from done. Chidiad drops it right in the hot spot. Jenkins bats it once. Morrison's follow-up. Healy, 2 headers. Back and forth, head tennis between the teams. And it's cleared to Sarah Morgan. No one ahead of the ball. Morgan goes to ground. And the referee not feeling generous. Victory retained possession. What an end to the first half. Lucia Leon, now Holmes, Hodgson. Players starting to get back into their regular positions after the corner. Through comes Wirtz, picks the pocket of Murphy. And now Healy. Goes to work against Wilson. Able to sidestep her. Batted down by Newbond. The follow-up from Condon. Very tough shot to get over the top of. Out for a goal kick.
Healy once again shimmies both ways, loses her defender, rips a very powerful shot. But got to mention Emily Condon's ability to follow up off shots. It's very dangerous and something Melbourne Victory need to make sure they're aware of. And Morrison did quite well there to actually put pressure on Condon.
Here's another look at how Newbon got down to the save. Red Army making all sorts of racket as Victory take this goal kick. Newbon completely undeterred. Puts it on the head of Karen Bastis as we tick into 2 additional minutes at the end of the first half. Karen Bastis and Healy. And now Holmes lays it out to Hodgson. Condon stayed on side with the run. Led Bunge to the ball. Trying to evade a couple now. Squeezes it through a gap. Holmes, a high ball. Lucille on the target. Leon breaking out towards the byline. Now back towards Hodgson on the turn. Blocked immediately. And the body check on Chidiac. Words can protest, but the referee pays the foul. So that was the controversial handball that led to the Janchevsky free kick. I think if Victory had scored, Adelaide would have been steaming going into the half-time break.
They absolutely would have. You could see Lucia Leon certainly wasn't happy about it.
Still, Claudia Jenkins made the save. Victory cleared the corner, and the score remains 1-1. And now there's only seconds left to play with at the end of the first half. Low. Wow, Muscle McNamara. And then puts it over the bar. McNamara's reaction is to turn straight to the referee, but you underestimate Rachel Lowe at your peril.
You do. She's got a good shot on her and is always ready to win the ball in and around the box area and put pressure on the defenders and nip in front. You just don't want this half to end, do you, Teo? It's been fantastic.
Yeah, you hope that halftime team talk doesn't break the momentum either way. Adelaide, their stated goal was to come out and attack this game, so you expect they will. And Melbourne Victory, having held the lead, know that they are capable of scoring more. Stoppage time is up, and hasn't this set the tone for this semi-final so far? Erin Healy with an equaliser within 2 minutes of Victory taking the lead through Emily Gilnick. And it means at Cooper Stadium it's dead level a quarter of the way through this two-legged semi-final. Lots of attacking, a free-flowing open game, even though the conversation continues in earnest. It's the halftime team talks for now. Adelaide United 1, Melbourne Victory 1. Teresa, let's get into the highlights from this first half. And you called it, you flagged Courtney Newbon's ability to distribute at distance, and she has an assist to her name as a result.
Well, there you have it. It was a wonderfully placed long ball from Newbon and classy goal, classy finish in what was quite a tight angle here for M. Gilnick to finish first time with a left foot.
I mean, this is great quality from Gilnick, her 13th of the season and 67th in her Ninja A-League career.
I tell you, she's a big game player and she's certainly shown up today, ready to fire.
But the equaliser came soon after. Emily Hodgson's been bombing down that left flank all through the first half. And Lucia Leon, really a good cross, and that perhaps should have been the equaliser for Condon, but it didn't matter. The parry went straight into the path of Healy.
Perfect response here from Adelaide. It was a great cross in from Hodgson. And how about Lucia Leon? How unselfish was this play? She had every right to try and shoot home there first time, but does really well to cut it back to Condon, who has a go, and it lands nicely for Erin Healy to just poke it away.
8th of the season for Erin Healy. And the first head-to-head against Melbourne Victory. All right, run us through the underlying numbers. Anything that jumps off the page at you there as we survey the end of the first half?
I mean, those numbers show how even a match it really is, and both teams are going for it out there equally, in my view, Teo.
So that halftime score again is Adelaide United 1, Melbourne Victory 1. So this first leg of the semi-final has been action-packed, thrills and spills, lots of physicality. Only the one yellow card for Alana Janchevski so far, and an exchange of goals, meaning a 1-1 half-time scoreline. I feel as though these two teams are playing for now like there is no tomorrow. Hard to believe there's a second leg following this contest. So that's your scoreline. And Gilnick cancelled out by an equaliser from Erin Healy. Fans enjoying it at Cooper Stadium as well. Of course, the other semi-final was contested between Central Coast Mariners and Melbourne City yesterday. Let's take a look at the highlights and reaction from that game at Industry Group Stadium. And now Davidson sprinting forward, looking for the right pass. And a very nice ball through to McKenna, saved one-on-one by Langman. Riley Henry was making width over on the right, but Davidson wanted to find the gap in the defence and did so very nicely.
It was a great run through the middle of the park from Leah Davidson. Intelligent runs off the shoulder of their defenders.
Rasmussen gets the better of Stott. The crowd rise. Annalise Rasmussen. Gomez. Penic. And the tap in for Brooke Nunn. Central Coast take the lead. Brooke Nunn almost in disbelief. And the undefeated premiers of the home and away season go behind in the semi-final.
Well, what a goal from the Central Coast Mariners. A beautifully worked team finish.
Can McKenna bring Melbourne City level with the dead ball? She goes for power and scores spectacularly. Letitia McKenna brings the semi-final level with a bomb from way outside the penalty area. Melbourne City respond. It's McKenna's 6th of the season. Kostelakis brings the ball to ground, and Henry is off and racing. Rowe trying to backtrack. It's Briley Henry. Rounds the goalkeeper and City lead. Briley Henry's goal-scoring run continues into the finals. It's 5 in 8 for the City forward. Rasmussen sets Pennock away, but working wide. Nunn's in the middle. Pennock, beautifully measured ball. Brooke Nunn. Mirez out of the equation, but there are defenders back. Nunn! The crowd tells the story. Brooke Nunn has 2, and the Mariners are level. Central Coast are up for this one. Martin. Rasmussen touches it around. This is shooting range for Rasmussen. It was flat, it was travelling, and it goes just wide. Kostelakis over to Stott. Stott slides it on. Davidson, Policina. Was able to free the feet for a shot, but sent it high.
Well, nerves are high. The shot was high, but nerves are high. The tension's building.
And we will see you in a week in Melbourne, because we are no closer to working out who will advance to the Ninja A-League Grand Final.
Look, they're a great side. They got some, I think they're very well coached. I think they can play a couple of different formations. And like you saw, probably around the 60th minute, they changed to a back 5 and got their wing backs going. They're very good on the transition. So we conceded a transition goal, which is quite disappointing on our behalf. We're normally quite good at that. So we'll just nullify that and work on it and make sure it doesn't happen again.
Coming into this game, we always knew it was going to be obviously a difficult game and very, very different to last week. We knew what our game plan was, and we're probably not our best first half in possession. So it was just about really fixing that when we did regain the ball, what we could do with it, and how we can capitalise a little bit better.
Well, I asked Michael the same question, but you're a team that his side has not been able to get over. 3 draws now. What do you put it down to from your point of view, how you set up with your team?
It's the girls. Like, at the end of the day, I set them up, but they're the ones who go out there and execute it and put their bodies on the line. You see our defending. You see how desperate the girls are to take points away from teams, and so it's massively down to them. As a coach, you can set them up, you can move them around tactically, but you can't instill that energy and desire into them, and they bring it every single week, and it's been a massive reason as to why we've had great success this year.
Welcome back to live pictures from Coopers Stadium. First leg of the Ninja A-League semi-final. Adelaide United 1, Melbourne Victory 1. Both teams about to make their way out of the rooms for the second half. Jeff Hopkins having a word to Ellie Wilson, who started today, and Teresa Polias as you rejoin us in commentary. Just casting an eye over both teams. That first half really built to a crescendo. Do you think the teams will be heading to the bench sooner rather than later? And if so, who do you think's in contention to appear as a substitute?
Yeah, it's been an intense match out there, Teo, so I do think both coaches will call upon the bench at some point soon, and I'm looking at the Adelaide United bench. I'm sure we'll see Chelsea Dorber come on. You know, a player like Emily Condon, she's fantastic out there, but we do know she's quite likely to get subbed off in a game.
There is the Adelaide bench. Chelsea Dorber sitting on the end of it there. Katie Bowler in the foreground, along with Sian Dewey and backup goalkeeper Ilona Malay. Hanako Sasaki was just obscured there among the subs. And there's the Victory bench. Holly Furphy on the left of your screen. Jessica Young, Gio Candy, the backup keeper. Rosie Curtis and Ella O'Grady. It's a very young Victory bench, but they've given some of those players quite a bit of game time this season.
They have. I'm sure we'll see Holly Furphy in the not too distant future.
So that whistle gets us back underway. The same 11s that started at this first leg of the semi-final kick off the second half. No changes as yet. And the player on the ball right here, Alana Janchevsky, the only one with a yellow card next to her name. Left back having been that problem position for Melbourne Victory all season. They put Beattie Goat in there for the first half of the campaign, and Alana Janchevsky ever since. And it has worked spectacularly well for them, given that they did finish the home and away season with the fewest number of goals conceded, but well, they'll be desperately hoping Janchevsky does not see a second yellow, not just for the remainder of today, but also it would mean suspension and decisions to be made next weekend as well. Here's M. Gielnik to Alex Chidiac. Victory owning the ball since kickoff of the second half. D'Apollonia back to Gielnik. And then left it a little shallow. Holmes clears away. Adelaide not able to break though. Claudia Bunge in with a slide tackle. I guess the question, Teresa, is how long will it take for the tempo of the game to get back up to where it finished, which was quite frenetic at the end of the first half?
I think both teams will come out and continue to really go for it in this match, Teo.
Hodgson to Condon. Brings the ball under control. Healy. Now Dylan Holmes. Healy again. Now Hodgson has Wilson won their case. And the end result is a goal kick, so well managed by the English defender.
A player like Erin Healy, Teo, she'll be looking to do more of the same in this half. Pick up that ball in and around that mid to front third area, run at players, use her skill in shimmying to get away from players, play the ball wide, which we saw her do, and then bomb into the box. Or we know she loves to let shots rip as well. She's got a very powerful shot on her as well.
Certainly saw that dare to take the game on in the first half from Adelaide's centre forward. Here's Condon now. Holmes, free kick. And again, right at the edge of shooting range, maybe just a little beyond it, as Holmes is felled by Chidiac.
Foul, and yeah, definite foul there. She's caught Holmes really well there.
So a discussion ensuing here about the resulting free kick. The sun's out. You can see that Courtney Newbon is shielding her eyes from the sun. We've become so used to seeing Casey Dumont playing in finals that we're used to the peaked cap making an appearance, but just the arm as a shield here for Newbon. As the shadows creep across the ground, this might be one of the last chances Adelaide get to capitalise on such a circumstance. They won't do so with that free kick though. Victory Rappel. Flannery trying for the early ball and it's blocked out, but the free kick comes to little for Adelaide.
Holmes opted to dink it over the top there, but it just didn't come off. I thought the shot was open given that sun was affecting Newbon.
Ball hugging the line, finding its way to Rachel Lowe. Flannery. Straight into the airspace of Ella Tonkin. And then beyond the lunge of Murphy, Bunge coming in. Looping over Karen Bassis to Flannery. Murphy with a little dash out to the left for Flannery. Backs herself on the left foot. And the call is a corner. It caught a little bit of Karen Bassis on the way through. In contrast, the Adelaide end of the ground is entirely in shadow, so no such concerns for Claudia Jenkins and the defenders. Murphy to take the corner. Jenkins, double-handed slap away. And then Morgan happy to shovel it out towards the line. It'll have just enough on it to make it to the touch.
Well defended once again by Jenkins and Adelaide United.
Chance for handball against Condon, but play continues at the feet of Morrison. Morrison happy to reset with Newbon. Newbon clears from Healy, but only as far as Holmes. Condon. Hodgson, first time pass, back into the middle for Wirtz. Flawed. A challenge from Morrison. Murphy. Trying to pinpoint one into the attacking half. Tonkin back to Jenkins. Wilson's header will slide out. It's only the 14th appearance of the season for Wilson, who has battled a foot injury at times. See the difference in crosses there, triple the number for Victory compared to Adelaide.
It's indicative of the way each team style is, and Victory using their flanks to get forward more and Adelaide going through the middle a lot.
Certainly with Victory having Gielnik on one wing and Flannery on the other, not a surprise to see that number very high for Melbourne Victory in just a half. You can see there, they are good front runners, Victory, but they got their lead pegged back within just a couple of minutes in that first half.
It's an interesting one, Teo, because Adelaide are first in the league for their record when conceding first.
Great to hear an atmosphere building within Cooper Stadium. Tangle of feet there between Flannery and Karen Bassis, but the end result is only a throw. Murphy immediately closed down, but Victory will retain the ball. Heard the shouts of red ball, but they were in vain. Jeff Hopkins, he takes notes frenetically during the game. He's a very nervous watcher when he's not issuing direct instructions.
Yeah, we haven't heard much of him on that sideline, so certainly must be nervous.
Morgan into the traffic. Healy back out to the wing, and Chevsky steers it back to Newbon. So even 5 minutes has made such a difference. The Shadows now have crept all the way through the 6-yard box to the opposite post. So it's only now down in the top right-hand corner where players will be shielding their eyes. Victory probing forward here, but that pass hit a little long. The game's meandering, and I do wonder if subs are coming sooner rather than later.
It is a bit, Teo, and I just think as the game goes on, both teams will be thinking about that second leg.
It's only the second season that home and away legs have been used in Ninja A-League finals. As Healy is knocked off the ball here by Murphy. Straight back up though. Murphy's got to be careful running into a 1-on-3. Found a way to bunge. Last year, the semi-finals, Melbourne City won 3-0 away in Newcastle, 3-0 at home for a 6-0 aggregate win. But Sydney and the Central Coast Mariners played two far closer semi-finals. Sydney 1-0 in Gosford and then a 1-1 draw at Leichhardt Oval to advance to the grand final.
Challenge there on Gilnick, McNamara, making sure she got the better of her there.
Janchevsky in space and trying for the outside of the boot there, lofted it well over the bar. And the crowd chanting Huaya at Janchevsky, who was of course wearing the red of Adelaide United just last season. So 10 minutes into the second half. No change to the halftime score. Chidiac. Holmes, an arm around Chidiac, breaks at the key moment to avoid conceding a foul. And Shevsky and Leon. Flannery on the turn. Low, bumped off the ball by Tonkin. Healy from ground level keeps the attack going. Con. McNamara. Wirtz to Hodgson. Build-up continues for Adelaide. Now Emily Condon. Trying to evade Davalonia. Sends it back out to Hodgson on the wing. Hodgson, big collision with Wilson. And Victory come away with the ball.
That challenge on Chidiac where Holmes argued for the handball there.
Morgan, risky crossfield pass, but it's going to work. Karen Bassis. Slide it low, but Morrison was always first to the ball ahead of Healy. Now Holmes in space here, can pick a pass. Decides to go wide. Karen Bassis straight onto the head of Morrison. Holmes in for the 50-50 against Lowe. Karen Bassis, first time pass, intercepted by Chidiac. Chidiac not able to spin out of a 2-on-1. Let's see, benches are vacant, subs are off warming up. Janchevsky gets ready to take this throw down the line. Morgan. Healy, great use of the body to lose Murphy. Healy is going to shoot. Well, hits the support holding up the net rather than the back of the net itself.
Once again, in that middle area, Healy does well to let that ball run across her, lose her marker. Let's rip with her right foot and just didn't connect the way she would have liked to, but that's another good opportunity.
Well, she's done exactly what you were describing from that first half, taking the ball in midfield and breaking into the attacking third, having to really flip the field and get through the lines and have Victory players scrambling back, something you don't see them do too often.
Yeah, she's really hard to dispossess as it is. She's very unpredictable in the way she moves as well.
Victory's turn to attack on the counter, and Tonkin had to be good. It was Dapolonia sneaking through the middle, but Ella Tonkin wearing the captain's armband Adelaide United clearing to safety.
How good have both centre-back pairings been today? They've been absolutely resolute.
And that throw, Janchevsky sends straight out for a goal kick, and Adelaide won't mind that. So we're getting closer to the hour mark. There are the Adelaide subs, still going through their paces. Nanako Sasaki scored in the 2022 elimination final for Adelaide against Melbourne Victory. Shallow goal kick. Adelaide trying to get out of their defensive half here. Victory go backwards and do it for them. All the way back to Newbon. Karen Bassis kicks it into the back of her own player, Morgan. Flannery round the corner. D'Apollonia has Lowe ahead of the ball, but Dylan Holmes isn't going to let it arrive. D'Apollonia back out to Janchevsky. And that has floored Tina Karen Bassis. Janchevsky first in to check on the welfare, and the trainer straight out off the bench. And there's a bit of a worry here because that's been kicked straight into the face of the Adelaide defender.
It's always a worry when you see a player drop like that. Janchevsky with the cross, and it's just, really hit Karen Bassis square in the face there.
So doctor and physio both out tending to the fallen Adelaide player here at the hour mark, and both teams are going to run into huddles. So while the treatment continues, what do you imagine they're discussing after 15 minutes of a bit of an arm wrestle to start this second half?
It is, and of the two teams, I think Adelaide will want to go for it even more, given that the history between the two teams, and that will, I guess, force Victory to also have to go for it. So I think we're in for a thrilling finish here. I think that we're in that territory on the clock where we're going to see some subs very soon.
Gilnick seems to be leading the discussion there for Melbourne Victory in their huddle. Hasn't been quite as vocal today, Jeff Hopkins, as perhaps we're used to. Could also be the function of having the microphones right on top of him at their home ground, the home of the Matildas. Here's Tiana Karen Bassis taking in the deep breaths. 24 years old, it's her 40th Ninja A-League game today. She was at Central Coast last season. Normally a Queenslander playing for Lions FC over winter. And she's able to get up under her own steam. The crowd showed their appreciation, but you imagine that there would be a concussion test of some sort, and Karen Bassis, no one's been summoned from the bench just yet, so perhaps there's some optimism. Wait and see. There's the fourth official, Izzy Cooper, just asking the bench if a sub's going through.
I think we're seeing a sub happen now.
Yep, Chelsea Dorber. So a defender off for a striker, and that is going to lead to quite a bit of reshuffling, you imagine.
Yeah, and I think it just goes to show Adelaide will want to go for it now.
So on comes Dorber, Adelaide's all-time top scorer by just 2 now from Fiona Wirtz. So the first change of the game is a forced one. And we'll see if it leads to a change in formation. Adelaide have played a back five for so much of this season with Hodgson and Leon as wing-backs, but just in the immediate response to this sub, try and deduce exactly how they rearrange here.
At first glance, it's looking like Lucia Leon has dropped back.
Melbourne Victory deep in attack. Flannery went to ground. Holmes away with the ball. Healy, tough to control. Morrison. Newbon. Will tumble out for an Adelaide throw. I think the first change they've made is it looks as though Emily Hodgson has switched over to right back. Or maybe the right side of a back three. Healy. One thing's for sure, Dorber's playing on the left side of a front three at the top of your screens right now. Ella Tonkin He's going to send the ball to her. Here's Dorba's first touch off the bench. Wirtz returning it to Dorba. Dorba cuts onto her right foot. Not enough elevation on the cross. Just loops over the head of Holmes. Now Lucia Leon. Taking on Flannery. Leon breaking into the box. Dorba on the turn. Blocked away. Second attempt. Stopped in its tracks by Kayla Morrison. Adelaide feel like they're getting closer now. Dorba. Condon. D'Apollonia. Well, back to her speed. And was able to run off Sarah Morgan there. Chidiac.
Looks like you got that spot on, Teo, with that back three now, so we'll be seeing a lot less of Hodgson getting forward now.
She's going to have to do some defending right here because Flannery has a bit of space to loop in across. Oh, shanked back to Woods. Rachel Lowe. Ella Tonkin is quick to apologise, and Lowe was presented with a chance.
Here we see the earlier ball in from Leon, and Wirtz had a first go at it, and then it landed at the feet of Dorba, who tried to have a shot on the turn there.
Well, so many bodies in the penalty area, hard to find a way through. Kayla Morrison protecting her goalkeeper. Got a couple of players sore. Chidiac stretching. Gielnik has called the trainer. So only 5 minutes after Adelaide's first sub was a forced one. We know that M. Gielnik was rested for the final round of the home and away season 2 weeks ago with tendinitis and a bit of an Achilles concern. It's not immediately obvious what the problem here is, though.
Could just be down to a bit of fatigue. Teo having not played in that final round and having the week off of finals. Very hard to return immediately to a game of this intensity.
Well, Jeff Hopkins is going to take his goal scorer and senior Matilda out of the game. M. Gielnik departs, and certainly an aspiring Matilda, Holly Furphy, is going to come on. The 22-year-old who has 3 goals this season. And Gielnik has to take her leave. A spectacular goal in the first half, and Furphy's going to come on.
She's done a great job in this match, M. Gielnik, and from what we've seen of Holly Furphy this season, she'll be coming on raring to go and a real threat for Melbourne victory.
So watch this space with Gielnik. Certainly doesn't look disheartened as she goes to the bench. So a quick look at the most recent chance here with Tonkin nearly shanking it into McNamara, into Lowe.
An uncharacteristic error there from Tonkin, and she put the hand up in apology, but very fortunate for Adelaide that victory couldn't put it away there.
So 1 sub each for both teams. Healy controlled the ball well. Manchevsky on a yellow, so can't go full-blooded against Healy. Return pass, Healy still going, Bunge stood tall. Adelaide still on the attack. Morgan sees Dorba. It's Chelsea Dorba now against Ellie Wilson. Holds fire and then recycles the ball back out. Morgan was caught late and overhit that pass, but out it goes for a goal kick.
It's that tussle between Bunge and Healy. Just drags that ball back in front, and a bit of a late one there from Healy. You can see why Bunge was remonstrating there.
Morgan back to her feet. So Courtney Newbon taking plenty of time over the restart here and going for distance. Holmes and Healy. Chidiac not able to stop them. Morrison can, though. We saw Erin Healy come off during this, during the second half last week. Do you think she'll go the full 90 today, or managing her injury, could that also be in Adelaide's thoughts?
Good question, Teo. I do think they'll have to be thinking ahead a bit and making sure that their key players are right for the second leg. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if she did make way pretty soon.
Furphy. To the path of Dapolonia. Chidiak is hiding behind the referee. Janchevski, one long shot already in this half, make it 2. And that one ending up about as high over the bar as the first one did.
There's the shot from Janchevski. Fair distance out, but we know she's got a very powerful shot on her and trying to change things up a bit.
Bouncing over the head of Wirtz. Countrywoman Wilson comes in to take the ball. Morgan. Holmes. This is Leon with the pass. 20 minutes of regulation to go in this first leg. It was around this time yesterday that the Central Coast Mariners went to a back 5 and were seemingly happy to play a bit safety first against Melbourne City. You imagine it will be different here.
I think so, Teo. Like I said, I believe Adelaide will want to go into the second leg with the upper hand. So I think they'll continue to go for it where appropriate, and perhaps that might mean victory have to as well.
Here's a burst. Dapolonia running off Healy. A bit of a grab from Healy, but the attack continues. Flannery sent wide. Now Healy straight into Murphy. Some victory have the ball back. Bunge onto the head of Tonkin and out for a victory throw. Lowe goes to work against McNamara and shrugs her. Furphy was on for the cutback. Hodgson lunged in and cleared. Just unfolded so easily for victory, and then again, first touch Lowe, but this time McNamara able to take it off her. Still, you can't afford to switch off. That was nearly victory teeing up Furphy for a tap-in.
That was lovely play in and around that box area. Chidiak with the close ball control and McNamara with a bit of a risky lunge there.
Dorman. Healy. It's been so dangerous starting runs from that territory, but wants Leon on the right instead. We'll see Leon running at Janchevski, and well, that was going wide in the end. Newbon wasn't to know as it just slid late.
Seems like a bit of fatigue setting a bit this stage of the match. Not sure that was a shot from Leon.
Look at Wilson bursting forward here, Ellie Wilson. Feeding it through for Lowe. McNamara ushers it over the goal line and out for a goal kick. Rachel Lowe's put in quite the shift today. Has been unrewarded in her efforts. And here comes Nanako Sasaki. Well, you've called it almost to perfection, Teresa, because it is Erin Healy who's coming off and perhaps still being managed through that injury, but what a game she's playing.
Yeah, common sense substitution. Adrian Stentor, obviously, you know, you want Erin Healy out there for 90 minutes, but they have a massive second leg next week and the rest of this match to think about as well. And you want Erin Healy healthy.
And so Sasaki, who scored a long-range free kick in the 2022 elimination final against Melbourne Victory, what was a 2-1 defeat that day, has come on. And interestingly, it's her 16th appearance of the season and she hasn't scored a goal for Adelaide United. So, having been a very prominent part of their team for the last 3 seasons, she's had to be a bit more patient this campaign for game time. Here she is on the ball straight away, though. Sasaki over the top. Bunge. Newbon's calling for the back pass, and Bunge obliges. And Newbon loops that out for a throw-in.
Safety first there from Courtney Newbon.
Great to see a healthy crowd in at Coopers Stadium. They might need to find their voice for these last 15 minutes, though. I think, like the game, they've just fallen into a bit of a lull. Will they come back to life like the home side? Sasaki not able to find a first touch on that occasion. Leon Janchevsky hugging the line and out off Rachel Lowe.
Easy.
Works trying to outmaneuver Janchevsky, but Morrison's another prospect. And the ball does find its way out. Leon, Condon, now Holmes. Adelaide players linking up. Morgan, sidestep, able to evade a couple. Condon plays through Dorber. Dorber looping it over, and the whistle had gone. The flag was up. There's a few appeals for offside, and the referee did whistle play dead.
It was a nice play there from Adelaide, but you could see, looking across that line, Dorber's well offside there.
So 4,372 at Coopers Stadium. It's fallen just a little bit short of the all-time standalone game record, which was 5,100, but still a great turnout. And, well, they might still have one more game this season. If Central Coast knock out City, if Adelaide knock out Victory, let's stay with play. Flannery cuts it back. Apollonia saved by Jenkins. It unfolded so quickly for the Victory, and Jenkins had to make a big save.
It came out of nowhere. Chance, great chance there for Apollonia. And who steps up once again? Claudia Jenkins. It was Rachel Lowe who put it over the top. Great run there, and Flannery cuts it back for Apollonia.
That's the effect, though, of taking Hodgson off Flannery on that side of the pitch and moving her to the opposite side. Adelaide caught gold. Here's the resulting corner. Murphy, high to the far post. Victory lead. Claudia Bunge puts it in. And that could be so important. Trying to find a way to the Ninja Ray League Grand Final. Victory lead in Adelaide. And it's their Kiwi centre-back who delivers.
Well, fantastic delivery here. And, I mean, we've spoken about how dangerous Victory are off set pieces. They've had plenty of them today. And Claudia Bunge with a head home there.
And Adelaide, they made a contest, but their vulnerability in the air to headed goals has reared again.
And looking back on that, Teo, they'll be disappointed with the way they defended that corner.
Claudia Bunge, it's her second career goal against Adelaide, third of the season, and seventh career. She was playing in Denmark, and defenders love playing for Jeff Hopkins. The prospect of playing for Jeff Hopkins brought her back to Australia and to the Ninja Ray League.
Well, it's paid off, hasn't it, Teo? She'll be absolutely thrilled with that, but there's still plenty of time here for Adelaide to get one back.
Melbourne Victory have now really taken the sting out of this Coopers crowd. Adelaide have got to be really careful not to concede a third. Let's not forget what a great chance Apollonia had to win that corner they've scored from. Tonkin.
The players out there, they need to get this crowd going again. They've got this home semi-final leg. They've got to make the most of their crowd now.
Morgan down the left flank. Dorber did keep it in spite of the appeals of Wilson. Bunge clears. Over the head of Tonkin. Sasaki. Holmes having to lunge for the pass. Into a duel, which Morrison won against Leon. Furphy. Wilson. Too much on it for Flannery. It was Nicky Flannery free as a bird over on that right flank that went to the cutback for the Dapolonia shot. Has all the hallmarks of a decisive minute of the game, and now it's up to Adelaide to make it a moot point.
And Rachel Lowe with the awareness to put it over the top for Flannery. And you mentioned her work rate earlier. She's been phenomenal off the ball and really set that play up.
Furphy on the end of Janchevsky's throw, and that's at risk of looping out, only for a throw, not a corner. Leon takes it straight away. Wirtz on the spin. Couple of snaps at the ankles. Wirtz went to ground, no whistle. Furphy comes away with the ball. Breaks out into space, and then outside of the foot pass, able to win a throw in for victory. Did Fiona Wirtz have a case?
Oh, look here, I think that was all ball there. Kayla Morrison's gotten the better of Fiona Wirtz in this half.
Into the last 10 minutes of regulation. McNamara, not a decisive touch, has to go back to Jenkins. Jenkins goes high. The bounce brings Wirtz into it. Holding up the ball. Advantage is given. Morgan. Condon, Wirtz back on her feet, and that's where the ball's headed. Out on the left flank. Dorber. Shot a lot of the ball to Dapolonia. Adelaide keep possession. Holmes. Lucia Leon. Sasaki. Blocked by Morrison. Sasaki over the bar. Victory going to make a sub. Young attacker Ella O'Grady is coming on here for Nicky Flannery. O'Grady, who hasn't scored for 13 games now, but take us through this chance here.
It was a really well-worked opportunity by Adelaide, and Sasaki, a golden opportunity, blasts it over from close range. Did say she's due for a goal against the Victory, but it just wasn't to be.
Thoughts on Flannery's game today?
Brilliant game from Flannery. What a great shift she put in, and really her and Lowe were the assist creators of that goal that Victory scored to get ahead. So massive shift.
O'Grady comes on. Just the one goal this season, back on the 17th of November against Western United. But the perfect player for the counter-attack if the other team is starting to pin you in your defensive half. The young Queenslander. Sasaki on the end of Dorber's pass. Lucia Leon. Morgan drops it at the edge of the box where Bunge heads away. Chidiac keeps it moving. Adelaide defence back covering. Hodgson. Morgan sets Tonkin away. Tonkin to Dorber. Now Holmes. And Morrison marshalling the defence of the Melbourne Victory, holding a 2-1 lead. Morgan again. Steps away from Lowe. Right into the traffic from McNamara, and it's going to come back Victory's way. Rachel Lowe, Holly Furphy. Can't get it past Holmes. But Chidiac finds a way to Dapolonia. and then out in front of O'Grady. I'll tell you that Adelaide United are monitoring Tiana Karambassis for concussion. There could be implications for next week, of course, her availability. It's going to be a double sub here. Lucia Leon is coming off for Izzy Hodgson, and Sarah Morgan off for Katie Bowler. So Adelaide emptying the bench. They've only got one outfielder left, Sian Dewey, but they've made a couple of changes to bring on some fresh players here.
Yeah, they definitely need some fresh legs out there. They need to go for it in these last minutes towards full time.
Works. Sends it straight onto the feet of Morrison. Had the runner, and Isabel Hodgson looking for her first touch off the bench, but the ball never arrived. And that's good hold-up play from Rachel Lowe to win a throw-in for Victory. We've seen this quite a few times during the season. Victory defending a one-goal lead to the finish line. They know all the game management tactics. Not all of them are overt time wasting either. It's just common sense that they have been able to bring out on so many occasions. A third, it changes the complexion of the tie very dramatically. Furphy can't get past McNamara here, but McNamara ran into trouble, and that trouble was Chidiac. Back out in front of Furphy, down to the corner, and a corner kick coming up.
Yeah, we know Jeff Hopkins loves his teams to be defensively very organised, and we've seen that throughout his career and in this Victory side throughout the season. Very comfortable in holding a lead and making it hard for teams to break down their organised block.
Well, Alana Murphy is walking over to the corner, and Claudia Jenkins quite rightly pointing to her wrist saying, we're going to waste a minute doing this, are we?
And the referee needs to step in here.
Still, from the last corner, Victory scored. Adelaide's attention needs to be to defending rather than the clock. Can Murphy deliver another assist? Puts it right in the hot spot. Jenkins clears to McNamara. Only as far as Janchevsky. Looping back in. O'Grady left in front of Morrison. Maybe the youngster trying to steal food off the captain's plate there.
She was in a great position there. Really good ball back in from Janchevsky. Beautifully placed, but O'Grady just couldn't direct that on goal.
Can Adelaide find one more attack? One of the features of Victory this season is that they either close it to the line emphatically, and just on a couple of occasions we've seen teams break through for an equaliser. Right now, a Victory third is looking more likely than an Adelaide second. O'Grady. Well, it's a little cynical, but she's going down to the corner already. She's all smiles doing it.
She's earned a corner as well, which, you know, Victory can score off and be happy about that.
So another set piece for Adelaide to defend. Only 3 minutes of regulation to go. Chidiac on delivery this time. And it's in for another for Bunge. Melbourne Victory with 1 foot in the Ninja A-League Grand Final as they go 2 clear in the first leg. And it's Claudia Bunge's day.
Claudia Bunge once again. So dangerous off corners, and the same player. I mean, Adelaide have nobody but themselves to blame for this. But great positioning from Bunge, and she's just so confident off corners.
Well, Adelaide protesting in the aftermath, but it's Victory who can smile. They have put a gap between themselves and Adelaide, 3-1. And I did make mention of it earlier. Adelaide's only away win in Melbourne was all the way back in November 2015 when Rosie Sutton scored a hat-trick and Jamie Harnwell was the coach. So a long, long time and a totally different era of the old W League ago since Adelaide went to Melbourne for their one and only away win against the Victory. Even a goal back here to make it 3-2 would give them a ray of hope. A 2-goal buffer would be massive to try and overcome. Condon. McNamara. Sasaki. Hodgson. Here comes the cross. Bit of byplay off the ball. Wirtz went to ground. Referee unmoved. And victory cleared. Hasn't been Fiona Wirtz's day. Arguably her best chance came with Adelaide's very first of the game.
She had a lively first half, Teo, but Melbourne Victory have really had her on lock in this second half.
Tonkin. Holmes. And Janchevsky with desperation. The throw-in is taken quickly. And cleared again by Morrison. How many minutes of stoppage for Adelaide? How many for Victory? 6 additional minutes, a huge chunk of time.
Plenty of time for Adelaide to get something more out of this game. They need to close this buffer.
Dorba's cross is headed behind. Claudia Bunge getting it done at both ends of the pitch. So Condon with a corner. Can Adelaide get a goal back here? Get themselves a bit of belief for the remainder of stoppage time. They're packing the 6-yard box. Referee is going to come across and calm it all down. Victory have scored from 2 corners in this game. Can Adelaide respond in kind? Condon. Cleared by Newbon. And then through comes Rachel Lowe. Did very well there. Condon taken off her toes by Chidiac. And it is an Adelaide throw, but Victory successfully defended the corner.
Defended once again. Melbourne Victory.
Davalonia's header. Furphy only gains another metre or two. Condon tries to skip away from Furphy, can't do so. Chidiac. Furphy back to Chidiac. Low through the lines. O'Grady herring off ahead of play, but the ball's going sideways to Wilson. Now Ellie Wilson takes on Katie Bowler. Wilson maybe seemingly headed for the corner rather than the goal. Bowler's done well enough to win the ball back. 2 of 6 additional minutes tick by. Hodgson, to the urging of the crowd, has actually unlocked the Victory defence. Here's Dorba! Saved by Newbon.
Big chance there for Chelsea Dorba. She knows that that's an opportunity she really needed to take. Newbon comes up strong.
It was shades of the Gilnick goal in the first half, a pass from deep in the defensive half, taking out almost the entire defence, and it still required a tough shot on an acute angle. Not to be for Chelsea Dorba. So 3 minutes of additional time have now ticked by. But Adelaide, they've created one chance. Can they create another? Chevsky has to be careful. The one player out there on a card would hate to get sent off for time wasting. Morrison appeared to be a shove in the back from Wirtz, and the referee's seen it. It'll be a free kick to the Victory. And they're going to make a change here. Ellie Wilson is coming off and Rosie Curtis is coming on. Curtis, who's had a massive spike in game time in the second half of the season. She hadn't made a start prior to this campaign. But Jeff Hopkins has turned to her and trusted her in that defensive line. For what will now be 11 appearances this season. This one only a brief cameo though. And Ellie Wilson, who's put in a good shift at right back, leaves the game. And right on cue, Mr. Maisels puts in another request for a sub, so they're going to make another time waster in a moment, I suspect.
They sure are, Teo. That's the way it goes, I guess.
Adelaide have the belief. Olivia Jenkins will take a run up and try to get it into the attacking half. Slides on here. Dorber chasing. Bunge in with a slide challenge. Bowler able to skip away from Curtis. Katie Bowler scuffs it into the box, and now Curtis clears away. Lowe brings it down. McNamara. Play continues. Lowe left on the ground. McNamara back to Sasaki into the last minute of the sixth. Adelaide's best hope to cut the deficit to 1 before next weekend. Sasaki slides it to Wirtz, and Chidiac able to nick it off Wirtz and do so, and then fouled on the way out, and Holmes kicks the ball away in disappointment. And it's a free kick going the way of Victory, and they have only seconds left to manage to get to full time.
Frustrations on show there for Adelaide. You can see why, but really the 2 goals off the corners, I mean, they've only got themselves to blame here.
So stoppage time has expired. Courtney Newbon, an assist in the first half for the M. Gilnick goal. What a day for the Victory keeper. Adelaide even have the seconds left to try and get down to their attacking end. Victory with the ball where they want it. And it's advantage Victory at the end of the first leg of this semi-final. They will head back to Melbourne with a 2-goal buffer. And home ground advantage for Adelaide United was not able to get them a result they needed. They will have to beat Victory in Melbourne for the first time in 9 years if they want to see the Ninja A-League Grand Final. Right now, it's Victory in the box seat. Of course, these two teams, there's some good sportsmanship out there for now, but they will be right back doing battle again next weekend. Keep an eye on the A-League website and social media for fixture details for the second leg of both this game and also Melbourne City against the Central Coast Mariners. The first leg at Cooper Stadium ends Adelaide United 1, Melbourne Victory 3. Teresa Polias, let's go into the match highlights, and it feels like a bit of a flat finish for the home fans in Adelaide, and Melbourne Victory really brought their best to Cooper Stadium today.
They really did, and as the game went on, they were more and more comfortable. Fantastic assist there from Courtney Newbon, and what an amazing finish from M. Gilnick.
It was a great finish. Gilnick able to